Hello students, welcome to week 7 for COM 565. This week you are working on submitting your final draft and preparing for your defense of your critical assignment. As you look at the agenda, you can see some important information here. Your final draft is due no later than Sunday, and you are presenting or defending it on April 24th in person. The only exception to attending the in-person defense is if you are more than 3 hours from the campus. So if that applies to you, contact me so we can make plans accordingly. As you submit your final draft, please know that I am giving you feedback on the rough draft you submitted on Sunday. However, that feedback will not be available for some until Wednesday or Thursday. As I move through each 30 to 40 page paper, it does take me a significant amount of time per student. So I am working on that starting today, but it may not be completed until Wednesday or Thursday. Additionally, you need to ensure that your final draft does not just only include the changes I required you to make in the rough draft, the feedback I gave you, but you also need to do a double check for spelling, grammar, and APA. I'm only pointing those things out if there are glaring issues that distract from me getting through the paper. So please know that I'm not going to catch and do a copy edit of your paper. That's not my responsibility as the professor. I look at your paper on more of a macro level and provide you with pertinent feedback into the continuity and the coherence of your paper as a whole, and does it meet the requirement for graduate studies and academic rigor at this level, and that you're prepared to graduate. You are required to employ perhaps a proofreader or a copy editor or someone close to you and you know then trust that can look at all of those things, because I do know it is hard for you to see sometimes the trees from the forest when we're working at papers of this magnitude. So do make sure your APA is on par, you make all the edits I tell you to make, and you make sure you have plenty of sources within the text. Do know this needs to be in final draft format. That means with your cover page, your running head, your abstract. You can include a table of contents if you want to. According to APA, that's optional, and it's not required at this magnitude. If you have appendices, that needs to be saved and included at the end. So this needs to be ready to disseminate for me to send to all the faculty in the university. Do know that a paper of this magnitude is always open for reading by any faculty member in the university as a master's student. As you're working through that, it's important to know that you need to submit your assignment first to Blackboard and then to to Blackboard as a Safe Assigned assignment, and then, to TaskStream. So when you do this, your Safe Assigned score must be lower than 30%. IT has told us to notify students, because this has happened in the past, that when you submit papers of the scope and magnitude of the ones we are working on in this course, that sometimes it can take hours to get reports back from Safe Assign. Additionally, during peak times within a course, it can take longer as well. So when most of you submit your papers at the 11th hour on Sunday, sometimes it can take up to 3 to 5 hours. It was reported in our last term that the longest it took back to get a report was 5 hours. So that is not an excuse to not turn in your paper. That is not an excuse for late work. You need to plan accordingly for that. So I would suggest that you be submitting your Safe Assign paper to Blackboard maybe on Saturday at the very latest. After you've gotten your Safe Assign score lower than 30%, you then may submit it to TaskStream for grading. If you're not sure on how to submit to TaskStream, here are some instructions for you. You do have to make sure that you click on the critical assignment link, you click work, you select a chat and to attach it as an attachment, and you upload it from your computer. Do know I can only open assignments that are in Microsoft Word format or as a .rtf or a .pdf file. I cannot open up any Mac-based Word document files. So do keep that in mind, and that is required by the university. After you've attached it, you upload it from your computer, you upload and close, you save and return, and then you submit your work. Just because you successfully save it to TaskStream does not mean you have submitted it. So the very last thing you will select is submit work. If you have questions with that, please refer to the TaskStream manual located in Blackboard in the Week 7 module. As you prepare to present your capstone and defend it, you need to make sure that there are a couple of things things we should be working on. So the point of the presentation and defense of your paper is that it's an opportunity for students to synthesize prior learning, design, development, and execute their communication project, showing this accumulation of their studies in a communicative format. We present in person their project to the university faculty. Right now we have confirmed that there will be 5 professors there on Monday, and you will be presenting your papers in conjunction with the Masters of Arts and Public Relations students as well. So do know that you need to include a handout. That is definitely preferred, that has a summary of key findings and such, and or a PowerPoint. You do need to have one or the other. You do not have to have a PowerPoint and a handout. You don't have to have a handout or just a PowerPoint. You need to have any combination of the two. Additionally, please note, and I've sent this out via email already, that this will take place April 24th from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Tyler Plaza campus. I've already emailed this out. So if you are less than 3 hours from campus, from Riverside, you do need to physically attend. If you are more than 3 hours or out of state, you need to contact me, and I will send you the information that you need to have to be able to attend virtually through telepresence and a video conferencing system we have. Do know that you have to attend the entire presentation, the entire defense, even if you are virtually Skyping in, and it is from 6 to 8 p.m. Please dress professionally or in business casual. There will be representatives from the university. The entire faculty is invited. However, we usually only have about 5 or so that are there. So do dress in a way that you feel comfortable and being presentable in for this monumentous occasion. Some things to keep in mind as we're looking at presentation tips and tricks. Prepare for things to go wrong. Murphy's Law usually always applies in situations such as these. A MacBook Pro will be available for use. You need to make sure that your PowerPoint or presentation software is Mac compatible if you will be using the MacBook Pro, or you may be able to use your own. Make sure you bring a thumb drive of your presentation. That's just a pro tip. When things go wrong, prepare for your laptop to be dead, prepare for something to happen, so always have a backup way of accessing your presentation. You may provide your own laptop. You need to make sure that if you are using your own laptop, you have an HDMI outlet to connect to the projector. That's the only means to connect to the projector, is through an HDMI outlet. Arrive early and make sure you're dressed professionally, and know that there are a number of different faculty members that have been invited. So Comm Studies is housed within the Arts and Sciences Department at OPS. Arts and Sciences includes faculty members in the area of public relations, mathematics, science, Christian studies, English, and graphic design. So you have a plethora of professors that have been invited that have a variety of skills and services and scholarship in their own personal area that may be weighing into your presentation. As you're creating your presentation, you need to know that you are preparing a defense of the research that compromises this entire project, everything we've worked on in the last 7 weeks. You need to plan for a 5-minute presentation and a brief Q&A period at the end of all presentations. We are presenting this alongside with the MAPR students. So keep that in mind. We have 2 hours to allow about 12 students to present their findings and defend what they've done for their graduate degree. As such, you will have 5 minutes to present. That includes the time for setup and tear down. So we need to know that this starts promptly at 6 o'clock. So it is important to know that that means you should probably be there well before 6 o'clock and have everything ready to go so we can get going. The presentations start at 6 and can last till 8 o'clock. Your slides, if you use a PowerPoint, your slides or your dialogue as presenting this should encapsulate the work and the focus on the most salient contributions. In preparing yourself, ask questions to yourself to prepare, like, what do I want people to know about my thesis? What is the most important information that I can present about the topic? Use text that is large enough to be readable by the audience, especially if you're utilizing figures and graphics. Ensure that graphics and tables are clear. Do not clutter your slides. If necessary, have things come up on mouse clicks. Use spell check and proofread. Practice your presentation with your peers. Work on pronunciation. Time your presentation as of utmost importance to ensure that it will fit within the allotted time. Do keep in mind at the end of all presentations, that's when the faculty will open up a Q&A. You can be asked any question at any point that pertains not just to your topic, but also maybe other courses you may have taken. So do keep in mind that it is required for you to stay and be there for the entire period of time. Plan to dress professionally for the defense. There's not a specific dress code. I tell all of my students to dress comfortably, but dress comfortably in a way that you feel that you are of utmost, you are definitely presentable in a way that you feel comfortable at. The university does require that we tell students to prepare as if you were presenting this paper at a conference or maybe going to a job interview. Keep this in mind when selecting shoes and things like that. You don't want your heels digging into your feet and things of that nature. Do you plan on bringing things to the defense like your presentation? If you want a laser pointer or a clicker or something like that, bring a printed copy of your thesis document. This will help you if people have questions. You can refer to it more quickly than trying to think and recall the information on your head from your head. Make sure, of course, you have a pen and pencil so you can jot down or some way to record comments. The commentary and the questioning is really our point of ensuring not that you just know the knowledge that you do about your presentation, but that we can give you some feedback and helping you go further with your area of study. When you're fielding questions, it's important to know that you need to listen to the entire question, no matter how long the person takes to get it out. Always pause and think about the question before answering. If you're not sure on how to answer, rephrase the question or repeat it back to ensure that you have time to think about it as they're answering that, and answer it to the best of your ability. If you don't know the answer, remain calm, and it's okay to say, I'm not quite sure. Remember that no one really knows the ins and outs of your particular project like you. At this point, you are the foremost expert on this topic in that room while we're presenting at a given time. You really do know the most there is to know in the room about the topic during the defense. So use that as a point of confidence. People may have surface knowledge or cursory knowledge about the topic, but you're the one that spent the last 8 weeks or perhaps last 2 years looking at this, so you're the content expert at this point. Also know that any question that may ask that it throws you off or you're not quite sure of, as your professor and as your chair for this project, I'm there as a point of support. I won't let you necessarily get into a situation where you can't answer it appropriately. If need be, I may field the question for you or let you answer some and then kind of come in and help explain maybe why we took the research in a certain direction or not. So do know I am there as a form of not just protection but support. As we go through some of these things, keep in mind that you are working on your final draft by Sunday and you are presenting it on Monday. Many of you have reached out to me to have a chat this week to prepare for your presentation, and that's great. I definitely encourage that. My appointments are filling up, so please reach out today if you have not so already about setting an appointment. And let me know when you would like to meet. If you have any questions, let me know. Do know that I am praying for you and I am excited for you that you have reached this point in the semester. It's very exciting to know that you've gotten to this point to where you're going to present your research to the university. That means that really Monday is a celebration of you and letting me as a faculty member present you to other faculty members to say, look at what our graduate students have done. These people are ready to go out and to graduate into the world, and they are definitely embodying what we want CBU graduates to embody. You would not get to that point if you were not ready to do that. So do know that we are very proud of you and we look forward to meeting you in person or virtually through our video conferencing software. I pray you all have a blessed week and let me know if you have any questions, and I look forward to interacting with you.